So the next week, we finally learn who the higher power is. The higher power is finally going to appear to Austin's face, but not to the audience. And then the next week, Vince McMahon finally takes the hood off and screams, "It was me, Austin. It was me all along." JR has a fantastic call, but lots of rumor and innuendo about this higher power thing. I think you've mentioned over the years that one of the ideas Russo had was, what if it was Christopher Daniels? And lots of other people have their idea of who they think it was going to be. What can you tell us about the original concept for the higher power and how we landed on Vince?
Well, I think we landed on Vince just out of not having anybody strong enough to put in that position and bring it back to what worked and what people were comfortable with and what they knew. Was that the right decision? I think that will be left up to debate for everyone else to debate. I think that it was an opportunity to introduce someone new and something different. I wasn't a fan of the reveal. I wasn't a fan of it being Vince. It was kind of like, can we get beyond that?
Right.
And that was, I believe, the original intent. But then as you got there, you realize, well, it's not done yet. There's still more meat left on this bone. So let's go grab what we can grab with Vince. And Vince is a natural antagonist to Stone Cold Steve Austin. And to this day, it's people love that dynamic of Mr. McMahon and Stone Cold Steve Austin. It was a very natural rivalry and easy to relate to.
But it doesn't make any fucking sense long term. He kidnapped his own daughter.
Oh, there's holes big time. Oh, there's holes. What the fuck are you talking about? Wait a minute. Kidnapped his daughter, burnt the fucking teddy bear just to get Steve to save her and trust him and come on board just to say, okay, haha, I got you. Yeah, there I mean, there's definitely holes, but at the same time, I think that if it had been able to go on longer, of where you actually saw Vince and Austin together a little bit longer and really believe that trust,
that's better.
Then you would have had me hooked.
That's better. Yeah.
But it was just so fast, and let's get to it. Let's get over, and frankly, I do think that was an original plan, that the higher power would be somebody, but yet there would be the evil emperor above the higher power.
So it is exciting for me to think about as the wrestling fan. Oh man, Christopher Daniels could have been in, but at the same time, as much of a Christopher Daniels fan as I am, it is hard for me to imagine that he would have been immediately programmed with Austin in 1999, because I think when the higher power is revealed, if it's another wrestler, well, that's got to mean him and Austin are off to the races. Do you remember there being any other names seriously considered?
Brother Love, no. There were other names. I mean, God, I even think that at one point, was it Dr. Death? Was it different names and different shit that you could throw out there? Don't everybody go, oh my God, Dr. Death was going to be the higher power. No, that was never like a serious thing. I'm just saying that there were a lot of other names that, or who could the higher power be? And again, I think that you could have had somebody come in there, be the higher power, and allow Vince and Austin to finally work together, be successful together, to where now it's like, God damn it, Vince saw the light. And now Vince is my guy. He's the boss. He's got his champion. He's got his guy, Stone Cold. And together, by God, they're going to get rid of all of the fucking bad guys. But we went bam, bam, bam. Too quick. My opinion.
I agree. It was too quick. Vince loved the idea of it being him though, didn't he? Or did he feel like it was a concession too?
I think Vince felt like it was a concession too. I think Vince was looking
sold
to elevate someone else.
Did he get sold? I mean, why not just drag it out until the answer revealed itself?
I think it had been drug out. The higher power reveal had already been drug out too long.
Okay.
The story could have been drug out once the higher power was revealed, because now you have Taker and the Ministry and all this shit and a higher power against Vince and Austin. It now evens it up a little bit and gives Austin and Vince something to fight against and overcome, instead of, okay, well, now, no, it's me. It was me. It was me. I
know this sounds super silly, but I got to ask, was there anyone even considered from ECW or WCW? Like when you start this whole concept of who is the higher power, and you don't really have an answer. It feels a little bit like the Black Scorpion storyline from WCW, where they didn't
100%.
But I guess my point is, were you thinking at the time, is this one of those where, well, we're flirting with Sting, maybe we could get him, or we're flirting with this guy in ECW, maybe, I don't know who that would be. I'm just saying, was there someone that you hoped maybe contract negotiations were possible for besides a Christopher Daniels or a Dr. Death or, someone like that?
Not that I remember. I'll tell you, when you look back, hindsight being 2020, if it had been a little bit later, good Lord, the Big Show would have been awesome.
Yeah.
In that role.
Yes.
Just because it would have been new and it would have been a cool way to bring him in. I thought, going back, I don't know how the fuck we're getting off on this, but even Big Show's debut and everything was rushed.
Yeah. But that was February of this same year. So to your point, you could have pushed it back a few months and been okay.
Right. Yeah.
But I just know, and I forget the timeline, but I know you've recently revealed that, we were talking to Sting and so, and I didn't know, hey, was that a possibility where it's fucking Sting? But Sting as a heel wouldn't have really made sense either.
Yeah. And I don't think that was even ever a possibility.
Let's talk about the match. Undertaker's going to win the WWF title from Steve Austin when Shane McMahon does the fast count on Austin in the main event. Meltzer would say, even the WWF recognizes at this point, by almost ignoring the mention of its own title change on its pay-per-view show the next night on Raw, that nobody was ready to care about pro wrestling angles just yet. And of course, the title has to be not there because The Undertaker doesn't appear on the episode after Owen's accident for obvious reasons. But I think that's sort of a weird criticism from Meltzer to say, well, clearly they don't even care since they didn't mention the title. But I mean, I think he's trying to say in a roundabout way that Owen was more important, but it just feels like a weird way to express that.
Yeah. Well, I think he expresses himself in weird ways all the time.
Do you know what the original plan would have been? I know where we're going the following week because it's a wild show, but usually you have a hot angle after a big pay-per-view like that. And we're setting up the next pay-per-view. Of course, plans change very quickly when Owen's accident happens. Do you have any inclination of what the original creative could have been?
I really think that it was just delayed a week. And then, the attempt to just get back on track.